皆さん、英語のそーたです。
Hey everyone, it's Sean.
Hey Sean, I heard it's been 5 years since you came to Japan, is that right?
Yeah, 5 years.
Exactly today.
Yes.
Congratulations! So in the previous episode, we celebrated the 2-month anniversary.
Yeah.
Because it's been 2 months since we started the first recording.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. And then, this time we are celebrating another one, another celebration. So too many celebrations though. It's been, 5 years since you came to Japan.
Yeah, it's gone so quickly though. It doesn't feel like 5 years.
Yeah.
It feels like yesterday that I came.
So I have a gift for you. Topic gift.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I decided to give you this topic, video games, because you love playing games.
Nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's
And
true.
also, I decided that this time you are going to lead the conversation for today.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because I always do that. I ask questions and I translate. You're not going to translate, but
I can try.
And also, you're not going to ask me any spelling stuff.
Oh, yes.
But this time you're going to take care of everything.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, let's do it.
はい、前回のエピソードでショーンが初めて司会となってこの番組の収録を始めて2ヶ月が経ちましたよ、イエーイっていうのを言っていて、今回またイエーイってどんだけイエイイエイするねって思われてるかもしれないんですが、ショーンが日本に来て5年が経ったということで、今日ちょうどね exactly today って言ってましたが、今日が5-year anniversary イエーイっていうのを言っていました。でこういう風になんとかイヤーアニバーサリーとかの時はここ複数形にならないので5 years じゃなく 5-year anniversary あるいは 2-year boy とか2歳の男の子とかっていう時もここ複数形にならないので注意していただけたらなと思います。でショーンが今回ねいろいろアニバーサリーを迎えたということで今回はショーンが大好きな、トピックをプレゼントとして差し上げましょうということで今回はビデオゲームもうショーンはねゲームとか日本のそういうのが大好きなのでそれをやりつつ今回はショーンが会話をリードするという、プレゼントを差し上げましたので今日は He's going to take care of everything って言ってましたが全部彼がねこう対処していく形で、レッスンをお届けできたらなと思っております。番組に入っていく前に皆さん僕の新しい YouTube 動画をご覧いただけましたでしょうか。映画を使った効果的な英語の勉強法ということで字幕の付け方だったり、どうやって見るのが効果的かだったり英語学習におすすめの映画、そうでない映画のジャンルのご紹介をしたりとか僕も学生の頃映画を使って結構英語勉強してたりもしたので僕は実際にやっていた勉強法を YouTube でシェアしています。概要欄にリンクは貼っております。あるいは YouTube 英語のソータで検索していただいてご覧いただけたらなと思います。 Okay, Sean, are you ready?
I'm ready.
ソータと
Sean の
台本なし英会話レッスン
Episode 143.
Okay, Sean, what is the topic for today for episode 143?
What is that accent? What is that
British accent?
That's
you can
not a
see
British.
it. Because you were mimicking me,
Right.
so can you do it?
My American accent is better than your British one, I think. Yeah.
Can you do?
Okay, Soda. So, today's topic.
What is the topic for?
What is the topic for today? See, that's much
そう
better.
なんかね僕がね今からこう収録しようってなった時にショーンが僕のモノマネして What is the topic for episode? みたいなことをやってたからさそう思いっきり収録パッて始まった時にブリティッシュでやり返してやろうと思ってそういきなりやってこれをやってるっていうことなんですけどはい仕切り直しをしたいなと思うんですが So what is the topic for episode 143 Sean?
Today's topic is video games.
はい今回のお題はビデオゲームです、冒頭にも述べましたが今回はショーンへのギフトということでショーンが大好きなビデオゲーム僕が決めさせていただきました、ネイトと昔扱っていたお題をこのイギリスバージョンでやり直す別バージョンで撮るっていうのもやりたいなと思ってるので記念すべきその企画の1回目はビデオゲームとなりました。その前に台本なし英会話レッスンはアメリカ英語の英語のソータとイギリス英語のショーンが様々なお題でディスカッションを行う英会話ラジオ番組です。エピソード135まではアメリカ人ネイトとの番組、エピソード136以降はイギリス人ショーンとの番組になっていますので、アクセント、文化、価値観の違いなどアメリカとイギリスの両視点からお楽しみいただける番組となっております。 So let's begin, Sean. There you go. It's up to you because I don't do anything.
Right, okay, you're handing it over to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I went back and I listened to, I think it was episode 44 that you did with Nate.
Long time ago.
Yeah, it was 3 years ago. I checked the date on it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to listen about like, what you and Nate talked about. And I think there were a lot of things that you guys focused on that I wanted to talk about. So we're going to look at kind of British perspective from those things, but also some of the things that you didn't talk about, which I thought might be interesting. So let's start by going all the way back to our childhood. So do you remember the first video game that you ever played?
Oh, yeah, I do. That was Tekken.
Tekken was the first one.
Or Crash Bandicoot. Do you know Crash Bandicoot?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, so it was a kind of family game. So yeah, I think that's the very first one I played, the Crash Bandicoot. And also, I always had those two, Crash Bandicoot and Tekken.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, I was always playing it. Those two.
Nice. Yeah, so that would have been like the PlayStation generation.
PlayStation. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So that would be about 1996, 1997.
Oh, you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. So when I was born in 1992. So yeah, 4 years old or something.
Oh, wow. So young. So you were 4 years old when you started playing video games.
Not really, I guess.
Oh, well, like 4 or 5
Not
years old, I
Tekken.
guess.
Yeah, when I was in elementary school. What about you?
For me, I remember my first video game that I played was actually Mario.
Mario.
Mario,
So
yeah.
DS.
No, before that.
Nintendo.
Yes, yeah.
ゲームキューブ。
Before that.
ちょっと待って。任天堂ゲームボックスじゃなくて、ちょっと待って、カートリッジ、ちょっと待って、任天堂ゲームキューブじゃなくて、What is that? I forgot.
Well, in Japan, it had a different name. In Japan, it was called the Famicom.
ファミコンね。
Yeah.
懐かしい。
But in England and America, it was called the Nintendo Entertainment System. Yeah.
Is it amusement park?
Nintendo Entertainment System, or we used to call it the NES for short, like NES.
NES.
Yeah. Nintendo Entertainment System. So I was about 7 years old, I think, when I had my first video game, and because I've got an older brother. And he was into video games before me as well. And when I got my NES for the first time, he kind of showed me how to play, how to push the buttons and that kind of thing. So that memory kind of sticks in my head.
Yeah, in Japan, like we had two groups, like PlayStation groups and Nintendo groups.
Right.
Yeah. And then in my case, my parents also played games and PlayStation. So it's like more for adults, like and DS games or Mario stuff.
Yeah.
Are mostly for kids. So yep, when I was a kid, I really wanted to play that one as well, but my parents didn't buy me anything like that. Yeah, that's why I was always playing Tekken, Crash Bandicoot, yeah, those stuff.
Nice, nice.
はい、ここまで一旦訳しましょうか。なんか調子狂う、it's a little different.
Strange, right?
なんかすごい変な感じする。僕が聞かれてるみたいなんで、そうか僕が答えるんかとか、そういつ訳そうとかなんかこうリードしてもらうってなるとすごいなんかこう不思議な感じがしたんですけれども、まず皆さんもねこうビデオゲームどんな風に今までされたことがあるかわからないんですけど、エピソード44でねネイトとお話ししてた時とはちょっと違った風にしたいなということで、ショーンがあらかじめエピソード44は軽く聞いてたみたいなんですよね。なのでまずは子供の頃に戻ってどんなゲームを初めにしたかっていうところから始まって、僕は鉄拳とクラッシュバンディクーっていうやつがねすごい好きでやってたと。でショーンは、マリオから始まったということで、日本ではファミコン、ですけれども、アメリカとかイギリスとかではファミコンはエンターテインメントシステムエンターテインメントシステムマジカル
逆 It's Nintendo Entertainment System.
任天堂エンターテインメントシステムっていうね、遊園地みたいなネットって言ってましたかね。
NES
ness っていう風に呼んでるみたいで、それは僕は知らなかったんですけど、そうでそこから始まって結構日本ではファミコン あれはなんだ、スマブラとかのあれは任天堂か、任天堂が大好きっていうグループの人たち、結構任天堂グループスみたいなわーっていう方々と、あとはまあプレステグループに二手に分かれてたと思うんですよね。ファイナルファンタジーとドラクエ is for Nintendo?
It's on Nintendo, but it's on PlayStation as well.
Really?
Yeah, Square Enix.
なんかあんな感じで分かれたみたいに、ゲームって結構ね二手に分かれるイメージがあるんじゃないかなっていうところから始まって、So I belong to PlayStation groups.
PlayStation
What about
group.
you?
Well, when I was growing up, the rivalry was actually between Nintendo and Sega.
Sega. The blue one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The character, what is the name of
Sonic.
it? Sonic.
Yeah. So around the time after the NES came out, the Famicom, you had the Super Famicom, right? Or the SNES in England and America, Super Nintendo Entertainment System. When that came out, that was about the same time as the Mega Drive. Did you have the Mega Drive in Japan?
No. I don't know.
It was before your time, right? So, the Mega Drive had the same kind of power as the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, but there was a big rivalry because it was like, okay, you are either Team Mario or Team Sonic. Like, which one do you prefer? And that rivalry was all the way up until about like 96 when the PlayStation came out. And then it became like a three-way war, Sega versus Sony versus Nintendo. I was a little bit spoiled when I was a kid. So I had PlayStation and I had Nintendo 64 as well. So I had both consoles.
So you belong to the both groups?
I belong to both groups, yeah.
そうか、両方っていうことね。
Yeah.
そうなので、ギガじゃなくてセガ。
Sega, yeah.
Before I was born.
Yeah, well, they used to make video game consoles, but I think they went out of business in early 2000, and now they only make video games. So like Sonic, that kind of thing.
なのでこう僕がまあ生まれる前から会社自体はあるのかもしれないですけれども、ちょっとセガもともとはセガ vs Nintendo、
yeah.
そこに PlayStation came out,
yeah.
後から来た感じなんですね。詳しいね。He knows, much more about games.
This is it. This is my gift.
そうギフトだからね。でもyou give me a lot of gifts now. 今ねいろいろなギフトをもらってる感じはするんですけれども、情報のねギフトを。そうなのでもともとはそのショーンがこうちっちゃい時はセガ vs 任天堂みたいな感じでどっち派かみたいな感じだったみたいですね。どっちのグループみたいな。でそこにプレステが後からやってきて3代になって、セガといえば僕がブルーワンって言ってましたけど、青いキャラクターソニックってね、調べてもらったら分かると思うんですけど、あれが有名な会社のゲームで、プレステ、任天堂の3代になったよっていうところまでがここまでのお話ですね。なんかさ、僕の癖でさ、いつもさパッて次クエスチョンどう振っていこうとかって考えてるからこのまま自分の流れにまた持っていきそうになるんですけど、Yeah, I'm not going to speak today, so
Okay. Hi, next question.
So what's your question?
So the next thing, so we were talking about childhood and growing up and the first consoles and things that we had. For you, is there like one special memory that you have from your childhood where you had that moment where you thought, okay, I like video games, or you have that really clear memory of one point in like a video game or something? Do you have that kind of memory?
So probably I loved games because that was the time when I was able to talk or communicate with my family. So my parents were also playing it.
Right.
Like for example, Final Fantasy or those role-playing games.
Yeah.
So we were playing together. So probably the reason why I love it or why I loved it was because that was a time when we were connecting. So I think, my memory of games is really related to time with my family. And also, other than that, I prefer playing role-playing games, like Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts, yeah.
So when I was in elementary school, I was a huge fan of that game.
I can believe it.
Yeah, because I love Disney,
yeah.
and Final Fantasy.
Of course.
Yeah, so if I have to choose a clear or specific memory, it would be Kingdom Hearts.
Okay, so that specific moment when Kingdom Hearts came out and you realized, oh my gosh, this is like my two favorite things, video games and Disney coming together.
And my parents were also
they were into that too. as well. Oh, it's interesting because for me, playing video games was like alone time for me.
Oh.
It was a time where I could just go to my bedroom, I could just play video games. I didn't have any distractions or anybody trying to talk to me or anything like that. It was my like alone time. So almost the opposite of what was for you. Yeah. But I enjoyed the same games like Final Fantasy, role-playing games. But I enjoyed like really going deep into those games and like all of the menus and things like that and changing like the power-ups and all the statistics and things like that. That's what I enjoyed because that was my main like alone time. I could enjoy it. But connected to like family, like I told you before, my brother was the one who showed me my first video game, like with Mario. With the PlayStation era, do you remember a game called Metal Gear Solid?
Yeah, I do.
You know it?
Like a hide and seek stuff.
Yeah. So it's kind of like action, hiding, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
if you get spotted, it's like that panic, like run away. But yeah, I loved that game. That game had a huge impact on me.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, that game did so many things that I'd never experienced with video games before. The biggest one that sticks in my mind is that at one point in the game, you had to make like a phone call to like another character to progress the story. And the only hint that you get is from like another character who says, oh, the number that you need is on the back of the CD case. So that's the only clue that you're given. So I was running around in this game trying to find this CD case, and I found the CD case and I was trying to press like circle or X or square, trying to like look on the back of the CD case, but it wouldn't flip. So I was thinking, what do I have to do here? Have I made a mistake? And this was before the internet. So you couldn't just go onto Google and ask somebody, right? You had to figure it out for yourself. And I was thinking, how do I find out the number for the CD? Like, and I got really angry with it. And I went to school the next week and I was asking my friends, I said, where's this number? Like it says, the number is on the back of the CD case. And my friend said, it's on the back of the real CD case.
Wow.
Like the game
Amazing.
case, right? And then I was like, what, are you serious? And I got home and I picked up the CD case, and then on the back, there's a small like picture, a screenshot, talking to this person that you need to speak to, and the telephone number's on there.
That's so creative.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's when I realized like, wow, okay, video games are awesome.
So, where, does the game come from? Like, which company?
It was developed by Konami, but
Konami.
it was designed by Hideo Kojima.
You know a lot about games.
Hideo Kojima, he's a legend, legend in video games, mainly because of Metal Gear Solid, but he's so creative. He always thinks like of new ways.
Yeah, because every time I play games, I get jealous of their talent or creativity.
Right.
So yeah, especially about the story. I've never experienced that kind of creative stuff related to our real life, because back up the real actual CD.
Right.
I've never experienced like that, but yeah, it's so nice.
It's creative.
Can you spell clue?
Clue. C-L-U-E.
そう、今日はじゃあスペルも僕に振ろうかみたいな話があったんですけど、スペルはね、ショーンが僕が振ってやった方がいいかなと思うんですけど、クルーっていうのは手がかりっていうことですね。日常会話でも使えますが、今回はすごい面白いなと思ったことが、聞かれた質問として、ゲームの中で一番思い出に残ってるものとか、ゲームといえばこれだみたいな、すごい思い出深いものはあり りますかという質問に対して僕は回答していたのは、僕にとってゲームっていうのは家族との触れ合いの時間だったんですよね。結構親がご飯食べる時もテレビはつけちゃダメ、家族と話してコミュニケーションを大切にしようとかっていうルールを設けてる家族だったので、結構何でも一緒にする家族だったんですよね。なので親も結構ゲーム好きで、クロノクロスとか後でシェアしたいんですけど、親が最初にハマったロールプレイングゲームですっごい僕も横で見てて楽しいなと思ったのがクロノクロスで、ファイナルファンタジーもやったりとかで、僕が初めて一人でロールプレイングゲームをやったのがキングダムハーツで、ディズニーとそのファイナルファンタジーのミックスで、もう後で語れたらめっちゃ語りたいんですけど、それをやっていて、家族と一緒にコミュニケーション取りながらやっていたので、僕のイメージとしては家族との時間、あるいはでもすごい楽しかったっていう思い出があるのはキングダムハーツかなっていうのがさっきの回答だったんですが、ショーンは真逆、opposite. Can you spell it?
Opposite. Opposite.
はい、音は opposite でも opposite でも both are fine.
Opposite? Opposite. Yeah.
僕は opposite 音濁りますが両方 OK で、反対ということですが、ショーンは自分の時間 alone time you said、自分の時間 alone time 一人の時間のためのものイコールゲームということで、部屋で自分の好きなことをやってっていうで、特にその中でもメタルギアソリッドファイヤーだった。
Solid. Metal Gear Solid. Yeah.
ソリッド。そう、僕もこれも僕ね、親戚のおじさん My uncle also loves playing games、そうでメタルギアとかね、おじさんがすごい好きでやってて、バイオハザードとかディノクライシスとかね、でうちにもその母親経由で入ってきてみたいな感じで、段ボール箱の中にねin the box 箱に隠れたりとかね、かくれんぼしながらそのなんか探偵さんみたいな感じでバレたらあかん、でも任務を達成しろみたいな感じで、一つのゲームのミッションの中に電話番号をゲットしてその仲間に電話をしないといけないっていうシーンがあったらしいんですけど、どんだけショーンはそのゲームの中で探してもその番号が見つからないと。でその番号は CD の裏に書いてあるからって言って CD をゲームの中でずっと探すんですけど、その時代はインターネットもなかったので調べることができなくて、次の日学校行ってどこにナンバーがあるのって友達に聞いたら、実は番号は本当のゲームの CD が入ってる僕たちの実世界にある CD の裏側に番号が書いてるんだよっていう、それですごい衝撃を受けて、ゲームってこんなに面白いんだってなって、ゲームにハマった。つまり、ショーンのすごい思い出が強いゲームとの、思い出っていうのはそのメタルギアで CD の裏側っていうことでしたっていうお話でしたね。で僕としてはそういうゲームとかの才能ある人って本当に羨ましいなって、クリエイティビティとかタレントとかすごいなって思いますねっていうのがここまでのお話でした。 OK, please、I'll please take it over.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, once I'd kind of played through Metal Gear Solid, that made me realize how creative you could be with video games. That's when I became a big fan of Hideo Kojima, and then all of his other, Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3. Every time he released a new Metal Gear Solid, he was doing something new and interesting. So that was the kind of PlayStation generation. So after that generation, do you remember what game consoles you had after the PlayStation?
GameCube
is the next one.
DS
Wii. The Wii, okay.
あとは Nintendo Switch, the recent one. 他何かある anything else? あとは
So you have a Switch now?
No.
Not yet. Oh, okay. But you had a Wii and a GameCube and...
Oh, I didn't. I had only PlayStation.
Okay.
And when I became an elementary school kid, I got DS. 動物の森 Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
So you went into more handheld consoles rather than the standard consoles.
Oh, yeah, because it was changing.
Yeah.
As time went by,
Yeah.
because we were staying at home, and in my case, that was a time when I was interacting with my family. But gradually, it also changed a lot. So playing at home. But, playing even outside, we could play it. So it changed a lot, I guess.
Yeah, I think like handheld consoles really became popular in Japan, and then they kind of moved over to England and America. Because I remember I always had like a home console, like a PlayStation or like Super Famicom or something like that, and then I also had a handheld console to go with it if I was going out with my friends, like a Game Boy or a Game Boy Advance or something. But after the PlayStation, I went to the next generation, which was the Dreamcast. Have you heard of the Dreamcast?
Is it from Japan?
Yeah.
Nah, I
So
don't know.
it originated in Japan, but then eventually it came to England and then America as well. But this was the next generation, like after like PlayStation and after Nintendo 64. So it was more powerful. So you started to see like new graphics, new like amazing detail that you couldn't do before. And then this is where my obsession with Japan started.
Wow.
From this point.
Dreamcatchy?
Dreamcast.
Dreamcast,
yeah. So on the Dreamcast, so this would have been about 2000, maybe 2001, maybe 2000, I think. So it's early 2000. There was a game called Shenmue, and it wasn't very popular in Japan, but it was made by a Japanese game developer. But the story of the game was that you play a Japanese teenager whose father is killed by like this kind of Yakuza boss or something. And the story is about you training in like martial arts, like judo, to become strong enough to get the bad guy. But it was so amazing at the time because it was like slice of life. You could walk around the Japanese streets. You could use the vending machines. Really like everyday kind of things. But to me, at 12, 13 years old, I was like, oh my gosh, it's like I'm in Japan. This is what Japanese life is like.
Wow.
And it had that impression on me. And then since that point, I think that was when it hit me, like, I want to live in Japan. So that game had such a huge impact on me that it made me want to live in Japan.
And actually, was it the same as the real Japanese streets?
Yeah, on my Instagram, actually, if you kind of scroll back, I'll post it on my Instagram story so everyone can see. I actually did a side-by-side video, like with Shenmue on the left and then my real life on the right-hand side. And all of the comments were saying, "Oh my gosh, it's exactly like Shenmue. It's the same thing." Yeah.
You're
So
kind of game geek.
game geek thing. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Can you spell it geek?
Geek. Geek.
はい、オタクっていうような感じですけれども、すごいね、ゲームが大好きなっていうような意味で今は表してましたけど、It's like a 龍が如く。
Yeah.
And what is the name of the game?
Shenmue.
Shenmue. Is
Yeah.
it Chinese one? Shenmue.
It's always spelled in katakana, but the English spelling is Shenmue.
It's like Chinese.
Yeah, I think because I don't want to spoil the story for anybody who wants to play it, but eventually you go to China because you learn different martial arts. You learn like judo and karate and like Japanese martial arts, and then you learn like other like Chinese kind of things.
Can you spell martial arts?
Martial arts. MARTIALARTS.
はい、武術とか、ね、空手とかああいうもの全部マーシャルアーツですね。はい、どう訳していこうかなと思うんですけど、こうプレイステーションとかの後に出てきた、ゲーム機がどういうものだったかそうと覚えてるっていうところから始まって、僕としてこう時代がas time goes by とかって使うとねいいと思うんですけど、こう時間が流れるにつれて時間が経つにつれて、それの過去形で使ってましたけど、なんかこうゲームの形とかもすごい変わってきたなと思うんですよね。昔は家でこうやるものがどんどん外ででもこうプレイできるようになってきて、時代の流れとともにいろんな形が変化して、そういうふうに外ででもこうプレイできるようにしないと 売れなかったりするんだろうなと、人とつながれないとダメだったんだろうなって今こう考えながら聞きながら思っていたことなんですけど、そういう形が変わっていってましたと。その中でもいろいろね後から出てきたものとして、ショーンが好きだったものがドリームキャストっていうデバイス。
Yeah, console.
機器ですよね。
That's it. Yeah,
ゲーム機器。皆さん聞いたことあります？コンソールっていうのはプレステとか DS とかあれが全部その機械を表すことですけど、ドリームキャストって僕はちょっと聞いたことがなくて、その中のシェンムーっていう、ゲームが言ったらショーンが日本大好きになって日本に住みたいって思うきっかけにもなったゲームっていうことですよね。なのでこう言ったらギャングスター、ちょっと悪い人の、そのゲームで最終的には中国に行くみたいな設定みたいらしいんですけど、こうベンディングマシーン、自動販売機だったりとか、日本ってこんなんなんだっていうのが少年ながら14歳15歳の時に思って、自分は日本に行きたいと思ったきっかけをくれたゲームっていうことですよね。Can I ask you any questions?
Yeah, okay.
本当はね、いや僕ねさっきからこのトピックをより深く面白くしていくためになんか聞きたいなって思う瞬間あるんですけど、今日は僕は黙ろうと思ってた。黙った方がいいかな黙った方がいいかなと思うんですけどOh, yeah, because this is your turn.
No, you have a question?
そうだね。なんかより深くしていきたいなと思ったんですけど So we were talking about the change in games.
Yes.
So as I said, I was playing games at home with my family. But, gradually it changed so that people were able to play with friends, even outside, like Tsushin, connecting with people, or, it became online.
Yes.
So what do you think about the change?
That's a good question because my next question for you was actually about that thing.
Really?
Yeah, we're on the same wavelength,
Okay.
I think, yeah. So, after the whole, Dreamcast generation, little small fact, the Dreamcast was actually one of the first consoles that had internet access, so you could play with friends online.
That's the first one.
One of the first, because I think PlayStation had some kind of internet connection, but it was never used properly. Dreamcast was the first one to have a real online connection that you could play with friends, so that's why it was such a big deal. But when things started to move online, I think it became more convenient for people to play with other people. Because in the past, if you wanted to play with your friends, you'd have to go to their house, have a second control pad, sharing, that kind of thing. Or the screen was kind of split screen gaming. So playing online kind of killed those things, right? You could just play with anybody from around the world. I think that's a good thing because you can make new friends, you can meet new people from around the world playing video games. But also I kind of miss that, friendly atmosphere with, sharing a control pad with your friend. Oh, it's your turn. Okay, you go, That's one of the things that I like about Japan. That because the video game culture is still very, very strong here, there are actually video game bars that you can go to. You can have a drink, get some snacks, play video games with your friends. I'll take you to one sometime. Maybe.
Okay.
But that brings back that kind of friendly feeling, I think, which is what online gaming has kind of taken away. So I miss that feeling of playing with my friends right next to me. What do you think?
Yeah, because when we were kids, we invited our friends to our house, and next week I'll come to your place.
Right, yeah.
This week he comes to my place like that. So I also miss that memories, and we share, one game, for example, PlayStation with two controllers.
Yeah.
So and as you said, the TV screen
split screen.
Half.
Yeah.
So I also miss that era. And gradually, for example, when I was young, I had two separate times. One is for example, playing games with my friends in our house and playing outside.
Right.
They were completely different. But when DS came out, even outside, for example, on the bench or on the, in the park, kids were playing games.
Yeah.
So, I thought, is it really fine for kids? Because it's not good for their health. Even outside, they were playing games. So anytime, even now, anywhere, kids are playing outside. So, I don't know if it's good or bad, but yeah.
I think it's important to have balance. Playing video games is fine, but you need to go outside. I think with handheld consoles, that was always the funny thing, because I remember when I was a kid, I'd be in my room playing Final Fantasy for 4 hours or 5 hours or something, and my mom would come upstairs and be like, okay, outside, you need to go get some fresh air.
Yeah.
Go, okay. I'd grab my Game Boy.
Yes.
Playing Game Boy outside. So
That's what I wanted to say. For parents, they have to keep worrying about kids' health, because even outside, kids can play it.
Yeah. I think with the new consoles, though, they have more parental controls. So, for example, with the Nintendo Switch now, there is a setting on there that you can set a parental time. You can only play this for 2 hours or whatever, which I think is great.
Yeah,
because,
and it's, from cell phone.
Right.
The parents can control it.
Yeah.
That was so surprising when I saw it. そう、なんか個人的にすごい思うのが、いろいろな形がね、ゲームが変わっていく中で、ショーンも言ってたのが、懐かしいなと思うのは、昔はゲームするってなったら I'll come to your place、こういうふうに言いますね。あなたのお家に行くよとか、あなたの場所に行くよっていう時に go よりも向かうみたいな感じで come を使ったりしますね。来週あなたの家行くから今週僕ん家おいでみたいな感じで、友達が家に来て一つのテレビを、そして一つのそのゲーム機につながっている2つのコントローラーをシェアしながら、ゲームをするっていう、ああいうのがなくなりつつあるんじゃないかなと。みんななんか一人一個持ってて、家に来るにしても外ででもできちゃう。なのでそういう意味では親御さんの心配大変だろうなって今思っていて、昔はゲームの家の時間終わったら、はい、外でちょっと遊んできなさいみたいな、そういうセパレートなね時間があったと思うんですけど、どこででもできちゃうっていうね、やっぱ企業の戦略としてどこででもつながれる、どこでもプレイできるっていうのが、もちろん子供にとっては楽しい部分もあるかもしれないですけど、なんか昔のここでしかできないっていう制限があったからこそ、家族にバレないようにこっそりやってたりとか、ああいうのも懐かしいなって思いますよね。でもね、どこででもそうやってプレイできるっていうオンラインとかが始まったのが、そのショーンが言ってたドリームキャストっていうところが結構早い、たくさんある中のうちの一つだったということなので、ゲームのあり方っていうのもすごいね、形が変わってきましたよね。So if you become a dad, for example, do you agree or disagree, even outside kids playing games?
I think playing games outside is fine.
It's fine.
Yeah. Again, but just with moderation. I imagine, when I become a dad in the future, there'll be some kind of application where I can control exactly how many hours or whatever they spend. So I think it's fine.
Can you spell it moderation?
Moderation? M-O-D-E-R-A-T-I-O-N?
はい。もともとは moderate の形で適度なとかっていうような形容詞にもなるんですけど、moderation にすると適度な量っていうふうに訳すといいですかね。moderation is important. どんだけ適切な量をやるのかっていうコントロールさえあれば、外でやるのは全然 OK なんじゃないかと。で、さっき出てたのが、僕も最近知ったんですけど、遠隔でね、アプリで親御さんが設定できて、任天堂スイッチとかもセッティングしたらパンってもうゲーム電源切れるみたいな。で、これ以上ゲームできないように、今より逆にハイテクにねコントロールできるようにもなってるので、それがあるのでいいんじゃないかっていうことですね。So あ、また仕切りそうになった。また仕切りそうになった。
This is my show, my episode.
Your show. ごめん。もし聞くとしたならば、その外国人の視点から見てやっぱり日本のゲームってどういう存在なんだろうっていうのを聞きたいなと思ったんだけど、ちょっとやめときます。Stop it. So, your show. ごめん。癖。もう毎週4年間の癖が。
It's weird, right? Because it feels weird for me too. I'm waiting for you to like ask me a question. I'm like, oh wait, no, I have to ask Sota a question. Yeah, so connected to kind of online gaming and the next generation and the future. The next kind of thing that I want to ask your opinion about is DLC. So downloadable content and microtransactions. So mobile gaming, like gaming apps, are becoming more popular. Like I've even seen you play Call of Duty on your mobile, right?
Yeah.
So this is the next thing that I think we have to be thinking about with video games is these small purchases that you have to buy to unlock new characters or something like that. Because now we're moving into that area of gambling. And because these games are available to children as well, I think we're starting to enter a kind of dangerous area where kids are going to be able to just, buy, upgrades or weapons or whatever, and just spending like real money without realizing it. Because like when we were kids playing Mario and PlayStation, we didn't have to worry about these
so safe.
DLC, right? It's safe, right? But now, you open the application and then boom, like the first thing you see, hey, buy this new character for 200 yen or something. You go, oh, okay, it's 200 yen, that's fine, boom. And then you do that every day, and then you get your bill, and it's like 3,000 yen or something, like 30,000 yen, and you're like, what? So what do you think about these kind of like DLC and microtransactions?
Yeah, for adults, we can control, so that's fine. But as you said, for kids, it's sometimes really, negative, because, even bullying might happen because he has that weapon, but he doesn't have that weapon.
Right.
And then, kids do unpredictable things adults cannot come up with. So those kind of bullying might happen as well. So the point is how much parents can take care of it, and also the games companies as well need to make that kind of a rule so that parents can control it. But the point is, I don't think parents should give a cell phone to kids, because it's endless. So I mean, like parents can give them a cell phone,
right,
but not like buy them their own one.
Okay.
But how can we protect kids from playing a lot?
Well, this is the big issue right now, especially in the UK and in Europe as well. That many video game companies, they do these microtransactions, like £4, £5 or whatever, like little additional things. But now they've started to introduce loot boxes. Now, with loot boxes, you don't know what item you're going to get inside. That's gambling.
Yeah, we have that kind of item a
right?
lot.
In Japan, it's massive. Like I talk to my students all the time, and they say, this month I spent 2,000 yen, 3,000 yen on loot boxes, and I didn't get the character that I wanted. So now we're talking about gambling, and that's where it becomes like a gray area, like kind of dangerous, I think.
But in any generation, parents give allowance to kids.
True.
Like 1,000 yen for snacks or something. So now, if it's the same amount as the one in the past, like buying snacks, they can give the allowance for playing games.
True. Back in England, I used to work in a video game shop.
Really?
Yeah, which is why I know so much about video games. And I remember when this kind of thing started to happen, like DLC and microtransactions, and we all had to have special training about how to process and that kind of thing. And I remember it was for a football game. It's not very popular in Japan, but called FIFA.
Oh, it's so popular.
Oh, is it popular here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because I know over here it's Winning 11, I think, is more popular.
7-Eleven? What is it?
Winning 11.
聞いたことある. I've heard of it.
Yeah.
But FIFA too.
Yeah.
It's popular.
But in FIFA, you can buy something called gold packs. And inside the gold packs, you get players like from great teams or whatever. But again, it's like a loot box, so you don't know which player you're going to get. And I remember I was working in the video game shop, and this kid came in his like school uniform. Clearly, he'd just finished school because it was like 3-4 o'clock. In his school uniform, and he came up to the counter, and he put £150.
How much is it?
£150. It's quite a lot. I want to say like at least like
30,000 yen とかかな?
maybe. Yeah, hang on. Let me just quickly check.
はい、ちょっと今ショーンがチェックしてくれてますね。
Yeah, about 2万円.
2万円。
20,000 yen, right? He puts it on the counter, and he said, FIFA gold points, please. And £150 worth of FIFA points. He's like, yes, please. And I had to check, even though it's not my job, right? I had to check. I said, are your parents here? Do they know that you have this much money? And he said, it's fine. It's my birthday money. So he got all of this money from his grandparents and his relatives and his family and things. And he's using it to buy these FIFA packs, which is like gambling, right? I imagine that his grandparents wanted him to buy clothes or food or
dolls
or something like that, right? Not just spend it on nothing, really, when you think about it.
That's not your business, though.
But I couldn't, that's not my business. So I had to say, okay. But it hurt me to to put like £150 into the till and hand this kid like a piece of paper with a code on it for his FIFA points. And like that seems crazy to me. But I'm really worried that this might be where video gaming is going in the future if we don't have any kind of rules or regulations to control it. With mobile gaming too, I think.
So you think that's a negative aspect?
I think it's probably the biggest negative aspect now, yeah.
Okay, can you spell it microtransaction?
Yeah, microtransactions. microtransactions.
まあマイクロとかはインターネットみたいな感じなので、インターネットtrading or something.
Micro just means small.
Small?
So yeah, like microtransactions, the image is, it's 100 yen, 200 yen.
Micro. So the micro.
It's not like a big, it's not like a big transaction, right? Like 1,000 yen, 2,000 yen.
日本語に訳すと多分アイテム課金とか課金とかっていう訳だと思うんですけど、そっかそういうことか。マイクロちっちゃいその取引みたいな感じのアイテム課金っていうことですけれども、そうですね。どこから行こうかというお話ですが、すごいなんかこうトピックとして面白いなと思うんですけれども、次新しい時代としてこのアイテム課金だったり DLC What is it?
Downloadable content.
Downloadable content、ダウンロードしてプレイできるコンテンツっていうのがすごいこう新しい今時代になってきてるじゃないですか。例えば僕であればたまにインスタストーリー英語のソータに載せますけれども、コールオブデューティーをねやったりとか、あと荒野行動とか、あとは白猫テニスとか一時ハマってたそうネット携帯でプレイできるっていう、そうなんかそれも結構大きな時代のまた流れになったなと思って、こう機器を買ってやるっていうのがなくなってきて、あるいは例えば僕がやってたコールオブデューティももともとはプレステとかでプレイできたものなんですけれども、それがもう携帯でも始まりましたってなって、多分そうやっていかないと生き残れないんでしょうね。それぐらいこう形が変わってきてると。でそうなった時に次は新しい問題としてショーンが挙げてくれていたのが、子供がいわばギャンブルのようなどんどんお金を課金しちゃって、請求書が3万になってるみたいな、そういうことが起こるんじゃないか、それに対してソータはどう思うかっていうことだったんですけど、僕としてはやっぱり親御さんの管理っていうのがね、そこは必要になっていてね、僕が学生の時もパカパカ携帯ね、ガラガラのフリップフォン、も 子供に与えるか与えるべきじゃないかっていうのって結構どの時代にもあったと思うんですけど、僕の家族は中学でも与えてくれなかったんですよね。別にいらないと。でも今の時代はね、ないとちょっと大変なこともあるかもしれないですけれども、お子さんのそのやり取りの中でね、いじめが起こっちゃったりする場合もあるかもしれないですけど、僕としてはやっぱりなるべくこう与えない時期っていうのも必要なんじゃないかなとも思うので、でも例えば与えるにしても親御さんの parents cell phone を3時間だけ友達とプレイするときにあげるとかにすると、そこの請求書がすごいことになるっていうのは防げるんじゃないかっていうところと、でも違う視点から見ると、どの時代にもこうお小遣いをね、あげるって allowance って言ってましたけれども、 Can you spell it?
Spell
allowance.
allowance. I wasn't paying attention. Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
spacing out. ぼーっとしてたね。めっちゃぼーっとしてたね今。
Sorry, allowance. ALLOWANCE.
はい、allow で許すっていう言葉あるじゃないですか。あれの名詞形でこんだけあげるよ、許すよっていう意味で覚えていただいて、お小遣い、どの時代にもお小遣いってあるじゃないですか、お子さんに対して。なのでその1000円あげて、ね、駄菓子屋で買うお小遣いとかを、それは子供さんの意思としてこれに使いたいみたいな、それがゲームっていうのはありなんじゃないかなっていう視点もあるかなと。そういう意味でこう月にいくらまでっていうコントロールができるのであれば、それは問題にならないんじゃないかっていうことで、あともう一つはその会社ですよね。ゲーム会社がやっぱりそこが子供さんがね、いくらお金の利益がね出るからといっても、お子さんがパンパン買えるようなシステムにしないことっていうのも大切なんじゃないかっていう回答をしてたんですよね。でショーンがイギリスにいた時のお話として、ゲームショップで働いていて、もう明らか学校終わりのお子さんがFIFA のサッカーゲームですよね、2万円ぐらい持ってきて、これをその FIFA のポイントに変えてくださいってなって、でショーンは That's not my business っていう言い方しますね。余計なお世話とかっていう言い方する時もありますけど、余計なお世話だよなと思いながらも、2万円を FIFA に変えるのっていうのがすごい心配になって、親御さんいるのとかって聞いても、これは誕生日プレゼントでもらったお金だからいいんですって言うんですって。でも大人としてね、親とかおばあちゃんとかがなんかこう、例えばもうちょっとこう気持ちのこもった服とかね、人形とかそういうものを買いたいんじゃないかと、これを全部ゲームのポイントに変えるのがなんか心が痛ましくなってしまった。でも結局変えてあげたけれども、薄っぺらい紙切れに番号、その認証コードが書かれているものだけをあげて、で2万円をもらうっていうのがなんか心が痛かったと。やっぱりこれが今後どんどんそういう新しい時代のお子さんの問題になってくるんじゃないかっていうことなので、これをどれだけ親であったり会社が、ゲーム会社がね制御できるのかっていう、ここにかかってくるんじゃないかっていうお話でしたね。 I explained a lot.
You did, yeah. That's fantastic. Good job.
Yeah, I did everything.
You caught me out. I was spacing out. Like, can you spell it? I was like, oh wait, no, yep.
そう一応全部ねカバーはできたかなと思いますね。
Good job. Well done. That was very difficult. So yeah, I'm impressed.
So please take me somewhere. どこか連れてって
Well, that's all the main points that I wanted to cover. So unless you have any other questions,
そうですよね。なのでショーンとしてはポイントがこれで全部だったということなので、難しいよね。Yeah, because it's so difficult because kids want to play.
Yeah.
Kids want the points.
yeah.
So how much, should parents or should adults interrupt
Yeah.
their, fancy time?
Yeah, I think the problem is going to be down to the video game companies and also the parents. The video game companies, they have to make sure that the microtransactions stay micro. Right? As soon as those microtransactions become like 1,000 yen, 2,000 yen, they're not microtransactions anymore, right? Now they're the same price as the game. So, but instead of focusing on the negative points, I want to focus on like the positives. Video games, very creative. You can have fun with your friends and family. All of these good points. So I really want to give video games like a positive light, not a negative one.
Because if you were a kid,
Yeah.
and if you live in this current situation,
Right.
probably you would trade
I think so, yeah.
the money with points, right?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
そうだってショーンが子供だったらさ2万円までいくか分からへんけどももらったお金を絶対ポイントに変えてるタイプだと思いますもん、これでベンディングマシーンのさシェンムーのベンディングマシーンでさジュース買うねんとか言って、言ってそうな気がするから、どの時代にもねやっぱこう大人になったらこれ無駄じゃんとかって分かるものも子供はねしたいっていう気持ちも分かるから、そこをどんだけねこう子供も説得しつつ満足してもらいつつ制御しつつ、そこをやっぱこう親とゲーム会社が連携を取る形でうまくやっていくっていうのが大切になってくるのかなと思うんですけれども、So lastly, what is a Japanese, what is Japanese games for you? From the perspective of foreigners, 外国人の視点から見てやっぱ日本のさゲームってどういうもの？
It's a good question. I think because from the Japanese video game industry, everybody takes something different away from it. I think the general image of video games from Japan is usually RPGs, so Final Fantasy, usually like strategy kind of games, that image, I think. But there are, lots of video games which originate in Japan, which go to overseas and then they get changed or they develop in different ways and become new games. I keep talking about him, but like Hideo Kojima, who did Metal Gear Solid, so he left Konami, which is, the kind of Japanese company, and created his own studio now. And all of his games now, because his new studio is kind of mixing with American companies, his games have become more American style. They're using like American actors in their like facial mapping and character creation and things. So I think it's difficult to say this is what Japanese games are, I think everybody takes a little bit of something from the Japanese video game industry because it has such a huge history, game center, like arcades, they were a huge influence in Western culture back in like the early 90s. In Western culture, arcades have died out now, but they're still very strong in Japan. Arcade culture is still very big in Japan. So I guess in my opinion, if I think about what Japanese video games are, I would think like arcade culture, sitting in a video game arcade playing Tekken with your friends, and strategy RPGs, games that make you think, I think.
And also your point is it has an impact on, everything.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, so for example, from the game images, perhaps, some directors might be creating a movie.
Absolutely, yeah.
Things like this.
Yeah.
そっか。なので今のざっくりまとめるとゲームっていうものはいろんなところに派生しているっていうことですね。いろんなところにインパクト影響を与えていると、have an impact on なんとか have an impact on なんとかで何々に影響を与えるっていうことなんですけれども、you're typing, so you want to spell it? 打ってるって打ってるもんね。打ってるからタイプしたい。
He caught me, yeah. Have an impact on. HAVE, have. An, A-N, impact, I-M-P-A-C-T, and then on.
そう僕いろんなところがちょっと見えちゃうタイプなので喋ってたけどなんか打ってるなと思ったらスペルしたいのかなと思って今聞いたんですけど、いろんなところにこうインパクトがあると、例えばショーンがもともと言っていたのはこう日本のゲームセンターゲームアーケードって言いますよってネイトとのお題でも出ましたけれども、やっぱりそれがウェスタンカルチャーにも入って今ウェスタンカルチャーではそういうのはなくなってきてますけど日本ではまだあると。あるいは僕も聞き取っていてざっくり感じたのはいろんなところに派生してるっていうことなので、例えばそのゲームの RPG の中のこう絵とかがそれを見て例えば映画作りにモチベーションであったりインスピレーションを得てる人もいるでしょうし、あるいは日常生活の中にもなんかこう取り入れられてるものだったりとか、いろんな形でそのゲーム長い間こうクリエイトされてきた培われてきたこのゲームっていうものがいろんなところに派生している、それが日本のゲームなんじゃないかということなので、そういう意味では We can be proud of our game cultures.
Absolutely.
いろんなところにねそうやって言ってる世界中に広がってると思うと、漫画とかねアニメもそうかもしれないけれども一つの僕たちの誇りに思うべきポイントなのかもしれないですね。 はい、皆さん今日のエピソードはいかがでしたでしょうか。ショーンは How was your,
Special episode.
I mean, like, how do you feel about leading this conversation?
It feels weird.
Weird.
It feels really weird, but it was interesting. Yeah, because I had a chance to kind of just switch it over to you, see what you thought. So I guess for my 6th anniversary, we
Yeah.
do the same again.
But we can do more regularly, like because you spoke a lot of English, so
Yeah.
people can also listen to you speaking English a lot. そうなんかこっちのスタイルにした方がね、僕もなんかすごいいつもねプレッシャーというかこう引っ張らなきゃとかクエスチョンしなきゃで訳さなきゃでも英語聞きたいっていう方もいらっしゃるだろうから英語も入れなきゃとかってすごいバランスを考えちゃうんですよね。で僕の話を聞きたいと思ってくださってる方もいらっしゃったり結構ねコメントで英語を聞きたいでも私は初心者だから日本語を聞きたいっていう方もいらっしゃれば僕の話を聞きたいっていう方もいらっしゃれば本当にいろんなねコメントいただくのでなるべくこう中間地点取れるようにリードを頑張ってるんですけど今日はすっごい気持ちが楽でシオンが仕切ってくれるからと思ってこう座ってやっていたのでそっちの方がね英語ねいっぱい聞きたいという方は良かったんじゃないかなとも思ってたのでまたもっとやりたいなと思いました。皆さん今日の番組の感想はぜひ台本なし英会話レッスンのハッシュタグをつけてツイッターでシェアしてください。インスタの DM とかでね送っていただいても構わないんですが僕はインスタグラム英語のソータっていう名前でインスタグラムストーリー毎日更新してますしツイッターはね最近毎日発音をね吹き込んでっていう風に発音とともに、フレーズをシェアするのも毎日やってますのでご覧ください。で YouTube も英語のソータでご覧いただいてでちょうど来週9月10日水曜日からですねアルクさんでの連載が始まりまして6回にわたるんですけれども雑誌買っていただく必要ないです。ネットからイングリッシュジャーナルオンラインで調べていただくと見ていただけるんですけどリアクションの仕方について6回の記事を書かせていただきますので今日もねそのリアクションどんな風にしてたかっていうのもまた記事読まれた後に聞き直していただければと思うんですけど僕がどんな風にリアクションしてるのか欧米人がどんな風にリアクションを取るのかそのコツについてまず1回目は書かせていただいております。そちらも楽しみにしててください。来週はねお休みになりますので、また2週間後にお会いできればと思うんですが So what is the Instagram account of yours?
My Instagram account is Sean Bradley 1986 SeanBradley1986
はい、ショーンもストーリーは毎日かどうかわかんないですけど結構ね TikTok やったりとかねなんかしてはるからぜひ見ていただければと思います。You want to say something?
Yeah, thank you very much for listening to me talk about video games so much. If you have your favorite video games, please tell me. You can catch me on Instagram. Let me know what your favorite video games are. I want to hear from everyone.
Yes. はい、また次回のエピソードでお会いしましょう。バイバイ。